we don't see our own stress. We're so used to it. And so we're just like treading along. We have no idea until it's gone, of course. And so it's patterns, there's so many ways in which we have built up layers around ourselves with our habits and our beliefs and our traumas and stress.
Welcome to the Life Coaching for Mompreneurs podcast, where you will learn simple solutions to win at work without losing at home. Hi, my name is Martine Williams, and I'm your host and CEO, your Chief Encouragement Officer. And this podcast is your one-stop shop to creating a burnout-proof life and business by elevating your clarity, confidence, and courage. Friends, it's time to say goodbye to being the yes girl, to procrastinating on your goals and living in overwhelm. And it's time to say hello to creating healthy boundaries, healthy mindsets, and healthy habits so that you can achieve work-life harmony. Your next breakthrough starts here. This is the Life Coaching for Mompreneurs podcast. Let's do this. Well, hey friends, Turquoise Talks are back. And so today's guest is Sandy Zeldes. So let me tell you a little bit about her. She is a soulful healer and straight talking guide. She is known as the spiritual cowgirl and has spent 20 plus years helping high achieving women heal the emotional roots of weight gain, stress eating, and burnout. She's a certified expert in functional nutrition and advanced EFT tapping and the creator of the best-selling Daily course, Healing Subconscious Blocks to Weight Loss. If you've tried it all and still feel stuck, we know that this is one of the number one New Year's resolutions is weight loss. This conversation is maybe one you didn't know you needed and might give you some food for thought, things to think about. I talk about kind of my own emotional healing journey and the breakthroughs that I've had there as well. So without further ado, let's get to it. Well, hey friends, welcome back to the show. Today we have our very first Turquoise Talk guest in a really long time, and we have been trying to plan this for months now. So Sandy, I'm so excited to finally have you on the show.
Me too, Martine. Thank you so much. I've been waiting a long time. I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
You're welcome. So I always like to start out the show just, for those who don't know you, and I'm just kind of getting to know you as well. Tell us just a little bit about you, about your family, and how you got into the work that you're doing today.
Yeah, I have a very long version of that. I'm going to give you a really short version.
Yeah.
And when you ask about family, that's so interesting. No one asked about that. I actually, in my original chef bio, it was all about my grandmother, right?
Mhm.
And there's a story of me sitting at the table when I was 5, and I started crying, and I said, "Grandma, when you die, will you leave me your recipes?" And the whole table exploded in laughter. And long story short, that started, I was a food lover from way back, right? And my mom was a working mom, never home. And I started to cook really young just to make mom happy. And I would do anything to make her happy, and it made her very happy. And I loved watching my grandmother cook. So there's a really long story there with food. And I became a chef and an entrepreneur. And I was I would say, I didn't think of myself this way back then. I didn't
Yeah.
recognize it, but I was kind of type A, had a hard time relaxing, worked really hard. I realized in my business, I don't know, it was weird. I had a hard time delegating. I was very young. I've had many incarnations since then. And I was an overachiever, perfectionist, and very, very, very health conscious. I was teaching cooking classes. I was teaching at Whole Foods back when they had them, Sur La Table. I was cooking for celebrities and then teaching nutrition. And I still struggled,
Mm-hmm.
with
Mm-hmm.
cravings. And I was the best shape of my life, by the way. It had nothing to do really with weight, but we think it's about weight. And so when I started the first shift I had was with nutrition. I was able to make a change that radically altered my cravings, my physiology of cravings, I call it. And the second shift had more to do with emotions.
Right.
Later, when I incorporated subconscious techniques that by accident, I wasn't even working on this issue, by the
Mm-hmm.
way, but it healed as I was studying it and working on myself. And I realized, wow, this is a really big issue. And later, when I started my practice, which started as a functional medicine nutrition practice using what I call ancestral nutrition, kind of the foundation of nutrition instead of diets, the
Right.
opposite of diet, and just healing and nourishing as opposed to restriction. I discovered that this is an epidemic. It's not just me, it's a whole generation, and maybe, of course, an epidemic out there, I think, of women silently battling obsessive, addictive food cravings, whether they have weight to lose or not. A lot of my clients don't, but they will come to me for weight loss because it'll be they're up at night, just urgent anxiety. And
Mhm.
I've been there, of course. And then they feel like failures when diets don't work for them,
Yeah.
right? They're
Yeah.
working so hard and they're not seeing any traction, and they literally feel like, what's wrong with me? And I hear this over and over and over. So I have a whole body of work
Hmm.
around this issue, and when the diets are failing and the exercise plans, because they're all working really hard.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
not a laziness or a willpower issue, right? And they think it is, though. Like, what's
Hmm.
wrong with me? They all think that. And really, I have to say, there's nothing wrong with us when we're struggling like that.
Hmm.
It's literally a stress issue. It's literally 100% of the time has to do with subconscious stress, hidden stress. I
Yeah.
call it.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I could enter the word burnout into everything that you just said as far as
I
like
know it's burnout.
the
Yes.
clients that I work with, they feel the same way. I'm the only one that's
Right.
experiencing this. What's wrong with me? I must be
Hmm.
right? They're
That's
highly
right.
ambitious, and so they're used to performing their way
Right.
through things. And it's just this idea of slowing that train down long enough to really get a good deep look at what the root cause is just a challenge for highly ambitious mom entrepreneurs or women in general, because we just
Mhm.
we just we're doers, right? We're just going to go and we're going to do, and we dismiss some of those early signs or those early things that our body is telling us, like, hey, let's have a conversation here. We need to slow down. Let's have a discussion about what's going on. So, like, as you were talking, I'm like, I really feel like you just took the words out of my mouth for how I
Yeah.
describe and what my ladies
Yeah.
here on the podcast also talk about. So, tell me a little bit about like what you see your clients struggling with the most when it comes to like their weight loss journey. So we know it's like one of the number one New Year's resolutions. We're
Yep.
into
Absolutely.
February at this point. The New Year's resolution has already probably not even existent anymore. And so then they have that repeatable cycle of I set this goal and now I'm going to beat myself up because I've stopped going into this goal. So tell me, why do diets often fail smart, successful women? Like, what is it?
Well, I'm going to just say it really simply.
Yeah.
It's because we're shooting the arrow at the wrong target.
Okay.
So often,
Hmm.
look, this isn't for everyone. I'm not speaking to every woman, right? Like, I
Right.
feel like sometimes when I'm talking, people think I'm saying universal themes. I'm just talking about someone who is struggling,
Hmm.
right? And has food cravings and can't seem to stick to anything and never loses, loses weight, gains it back, loses weight, gains it back, right? So these women know who they are.
Hmm.
This is for that particular issue. We're shooting the arrow at the wrong target when we are focusing on the chairs on the deck of the Titanic. Like, we're literally moving oh my gosh, I'm tired. I just went on a vacation to the East Coast and my brain is not back. Um, we're working on the wrong problem. And the
Hmm.
real problem is not the food, and our bodies are not broken. Do
Yeah.
you know, I have worked with women in their 80s, and I've worked with people who can't exercise, like they have something physically. You can lose weight faster by not exercise. I mean, it's not about how much you're exercising
Hmm.
or what you're eating.
Hmm.
And I can't believe I'm saying this because I'm 58 now and I totally get hormones. For the first time, my hormones are different, and but they don't have to be that way, by the way. It's literally stress related and depletes you, but it is truly about something other than food
Yeah. Yeah.
and the
So
exercise too.
what would you say that is, that if the cravings aren't about the food, for someone who's listening, they're like, yeah, but she doesn't understand me, right? Or it's
Oh, of course, totally. And then they all say that. And I'm like, and so here's the cool thing, like you don't have to know, right? I work with the subconscious, right?
mm-hmm.
And like a lot of us, we our stress is kind of, like the frog boiling in the water
Mm-hmm.
slowly. That's us. We don't see our own stress. We're so used to it.
Yeah, yeah.
And so we're just like treading along. We have no idea until it's gone, of course. And so it's patterns, there's so many ways in which we have built up layers
Mm-hmm.
around ourselves with our habits and our beliefs and our traumas and stress. So I'll give you an example. I think this is the best way to do it,
Okay.
to explain. Yeah, so I was just working with a woman who had been in a relationship with a narcissist for about 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, there were things that led up to that relationship, right? But she didn't recognize that this was abuse. Often I would say none of my clients recognize things as they might say that they're stressful, but they wouldn't necessarily know how it's impacting them at
Mm-hmm.
all,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And so she had no, yeah, she did not know. And she was not overweight when she got in that relationship. In fact, she wasn't overweight up until after a certain point. And so was her problem food? Well, yeah, she was not taking care of herself,
Right.
not planning food, not planning to eat healthy, not caring about eating healthy, and not even knowing what is healthy, and so to me, it all comes down to how we care for ourselves and are we kind of just ignoring our own needs, which is very, very common for us as women, especially the generations I work with, Gen X generation, I know very well. And it's very easy to kind of help everyone else first, think about everyone else first, put your needs last, not know you have needs.
Mm-hmm.
So most of my clients will have a lot of struggles. I call it self-care, but it's, sleep, drinking water, sounds really simple, but like it will change your life.
Yeah.
But it's a self-care act. It's not a physical, it's not checking off a box. My clients have a hard time implementing because of the stress. And so I use a technique, EFT tapping, emotional freedom techniques. And when we're using that technique, we're peeling back layers. So it's not conscious, doesn't have to be conscious. Like she didn't know. She knew he was stressful, but she didn't know how it was impacting her. And so as we're tapping, we're peeling back the layers of all the emotional stress.
Mm-hmm.
And it's coming off, we're releasing it. It's a release technique. It's not just, hypnosis where we access something and it's a little different. It's literally a release technique. Every session you release something more and more, peeling back layers of an onion. And so each session they get more relaxed, more at peace with themselves. It's hard to describe because it shows up in habit changes.
Mm-hmm.
And so, for example, as someone's clearing, I call it clearing, all this trapped emotion over time, the cravings just go away within a few sessions. They're just gone
Yeah.
out of nowhere, even if they've been struggling with it for most of my clients a lifetime.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's the first thing. And then slowly the self-care just starts to happen.
Right.
They go to bed earlier. Oh, look, I'm not scrolling, like, oh, I'm just going to bed earlier. Like they're getting more sleep. This is a miracle for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like it's a miracle. And then they're drinking more water without, and they never have. They've never been able to implement, or they wouldn't need my help, right? It's,
Right.
hey, just drink water, eat better, No,
Yeah.
it doesn't work
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so she was so stressed. So, we cleared a lot of that emotional stress, and her life is miraculously different in a matter of weeks in terms of the way she's taking action to take
Mhm.
care of herself and heal. And also her relationships. She was able to block him. I mean, it was amazing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's miraculous to do
Right.
something like that,
Yeah.
without guilt and fear. And, she got the anxiety of dealing with this relationship. I would say we got almost to a zero, which is huge.
Yeah. Yeah. For the person who's listening who doesn't have a lot of experience with like or knowledge around EFT or like when you say clearing or working on the subconscious level, can you just maybe describe a little bit like the science behind that work for someone who's maybe a little skeptical or just doesn't know anything about it?
Yeah. Yeah, so EFT has been around a long time, originally developed in the 70s. So, and it was originally pioneered by a therapist, PhD, using meridian points. And so it has a long background with therapists. It was actually introduced to therapists originally. And the science, there have been a lot of scientific studies actually, primarily on just how it reduces cortisol and how it impacts the stress physiology. Now, it's based on acupuncture points. And so, the Eastern acupuncture points have been around for thousands of years, whether you believe in it or not. In a
Hmm.
way, it doesn't matter because it works. I've been using it. I use it with people and they don't believe in it. They don't know it,
Right.
and it
Yeah.
works. I mean, and it's also not just a placebo
Mm.
because you can use it on animals. I used to work a lot with horses and people's pets, and that's one of my favorite things to do. And, it works and
Hmm.
it's verifiable.
Right.
You can work on children, and they don't know, they don't. So it's really interesting because a lot of my clients, I would say most,
Hmm.
I think everyone starts out. This is one of the things I deal with that is actually kind of hard for me because 100% of my clients don't believe they can do it because they've never done it before.
Right. And isn't that true for everything that we've never done before?
I know. And
The
so
thought
they
is
believe
you
it.
can't do it. You can't learn it. It
I know.
won't
And
work for me.
they're like,
Yeah.
well, it worked for her, but it won't work for me. And I'm like, why would you be the exception
Mm.
unless you don't want it? Unless you don't have the commitment level, you have to commit to healing.
Right.
But the emotional experience when you're tapping, the healing, if you're working with a practitioner you resonate with, is 100% available to anyone.
Yeah. And is it a short term thing, Sandy, where they do it and they have the breakthrough and then they have to kind of come back, kind of like a chiropractor where you get out of alignment and they get you
That's
kind
a
of have,
really good question.
right? Then you have to come back. Hey, friend, let's talk. It's time to book your clarity call. We are going to spend 1 full hour focused on you. A clarity call isn't about pressure. It's about possibilities. It's about you. You having a space to talk through what's on your heart and mind, you walking away with a clear vision and practical next steps, and you feeling confident in what's next and how to get there. You don't need to have it all figured out. That's my job. All you need to do is show up and we'll figure it out together. This is the best hour you can invest in yourself right now. Not in 6 months from now, not next month, right now. And don't just take my word for it. Here's what one of my coaching clients had to say after working together.
Working with Martine was truly a game changer for both my life and my business. She challenged me to step outside of my comfort zone and helped me clearly identify the areas where I was feeling the most resistance, and then guided me in creating solutions that actually fit my personality and my working style. What I appreciate most is how genuine and grounded she is in every conversation and how naturally she blends life and business guidance together. As a female business owner, a mom, and now a dear friend, I deeply value the time, care, and energy she invested in me during our weekly sessions. Ending each week with clarity, momentum, and a reset mindset was incredibly powerful. The lessons and perspective I gained will stay with me for years to come. And I'm excited to see how my business continues to grow because of her support and direction. I'm so grateful for her coaching, encouragement, and the steady presence through one of the most challenging seasons of my business. As a sole provider for our family, signing up for coaching with Martine was one of the best investments I've ever made for both myself and for my business.
That transformation, it starts with one conversation. It's time to stop spinning your wheels and start making real progress. So head right now to martinewilliams.com or in the show notes and grab your private clarity call spot on my calendar before they're gone. And since I personally monitor my inbox, if you don't see a time slot that fits your calendar, just send me an email at martine@martinewilliams.com with free times that do work, and I will make it work for you. All right, friend, let's get back to the show.
Yeah, it depends on the person. Like we're all different. So No, the answer is no. That's not the point of tapping. If you're working with a practitioner who's experienced, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the whole difference between doing it yourself and, you want to get every single piece of something out. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why it's a different process. It's not talk therapy at all.
Right.
It's the opposite. It's almost surgical the way I do it. I'm
Mhm.
literally in there just, we got to remove everything that's activating and creating this issue.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, my client who I was talking about, who was struggling with just a lot of difficulty with food
Mm-hmm.
her whole life, by the way. It wasn't just
Mm-hmm.
this relationship.
Mm-hmm.
She'd had things obviously before that. So, had we not addressed the primary stress that was just up front, had to be dealt with first, was this relationship, right? Everybody's different.
Yeah.
Everyone has their own things that you have to do first. I mean,
Yeah.
based on them, not me. It's not my judgment call. It's what's in their lives. If
Mm-hmm.
someone has just died, or if someone's dealing with loss and grief, whatever it is, we
Mm-hmm.
start where we start and then we go deeper
Mm-hmm.
to where the roots of something is. So for her, pieces of the roots of the food issue had
Mm-hmm.
to do with how she saw herself, like her own self-worth, which is typical. This is
Yeah.
typical, but it started with very specific incidents with family
Mm.
that created kind of a certain belief system about herself that was just normal for her,
Yeah.
right? We think it's normal, our own beliefs about ourselves. We just, again, it's like the water we swim in. So we don't see our own.
Yeah.
That's why working with someone objective is so important and who has experience, because we're surgeon. I feel like a surgeon, a psychic surgeon, an emotional surgeon. And so the answer to that question is that had I stopped at just the surface level stress, surface level, still
Right.
very intense, no, I'm sure she would come back. But we dug in and pulled out roots because that's what she needed to do.
Yeah.
And everyone's different. So I've worked with people who have severe trauma
Mm-hmm.
in childhood, and that's different.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone's different.
Yeah.
You don't know. So some of my clients have an enormous amount of trauma from something that seems relatively innocent, like being put on restrictive diets when they were very little.
Mm-hmm.
It's not everyone, but there's a theme there.
Yeah.
Those people struggle
Mm-hmm.
because, well, there's a lot of reasons. I won't go into too much detail, but it's very abusive.
Yeah.
And, at a very young age, you're like a concentration camp victim,
Mm-hmm.
right? So,
Yeah.
and people don't see it that way.
Yeah.
You've been starved
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
by a mother or a caregiver who had extreme body issues,
Mm-hmm.
and extreme control issues.
Mm-hmm.
So there's repeated,
Yeah.
this is a repeated pattern that for people, we have to really go deeper on. So everybody's unique is the answer to that. And if you don't do the deeper work, yes, it can come back but not in the same way. It's usually less
Yeah.
and with a ton more awareness. And so the answer is you have to pull out all the roots. In my experience, working with people over 20 years, we've got to get to the roots to heal something that's like addiction. It's basically
Mm-hmm.
addiction or a compulsion this deep.
Yeah. Yeah. And would you say that, like, when you hear about emotional eating or coping, people use food to cope, like, do you agree with that? Is that, I mean, you're getting to the deeper issue, but does it fit in the same line of thought?
Well, coping with food, yeah. So like people cope with alcohol. So a
Right.
lot of my
Yeah.
clients, because I'm working with a lot of busy professional women, right?
Mhm.
And so very high achieving. Not, I work with stay-at-home moms too. But
Right.
they're also kind of high achievers,
Oh, 100%.
and put the pressure on ourselves. I mean, so I put them all in the same category, whether
Yeah.
they're, in the
Yeah.
workforce, out in the world, or at home. And they're all similar in that mindset. They're high achiever mindsets and perfectionistic, of course, and self-berating, right? We berate
Yep.
ourselves, we get
Yep.
down on ourselves. And so that particular that combination, I see a lot of coping with, kind of munching or not fully eating, cooking for the kids, but you never fully ate,
Hmm.
and you're just constantly eating into the night. Nighttime eating's a big problem. Specific cravings are also, right?
Hmm.
And then the extra cocktail to wind down.
Hmm.
Not all, I don't see it all the time, but it is very common.
Oh, yeah.
And people will often tell me later, I think they experience a lot of shame around the extra drinking. They're
Mm-hmm.
not alcohol. I mean, they're just having a cocktail to wind down or two or three. And they're
Yep.
very health conscious and they're like, I don't think I should be doing this. I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
the main thing is that they can't stop, right?
Yep. Yep.
The main problem is they feel like they can't say no to it,
Yeah.
especially in social situations.
Yeah. Yeah. So that comes from something deep in
Anxiety.
their subconscious of anxiety
It's
or
anxiety
yeah.
every time,
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
exception. And
Okay.
we're so used to living with this high, like picture it's like EMFs. I don't know if people know about EMFs, but the rate, when you live in a city, you're in this background noise, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we're so used to our own background noise.
Yep.
You go on vacation, like I just did, and suddenly you're just sleeping like a baby, and it's like, oh, there's no background noise.
Mhm.
And, and that's what it's like living in our own anxiety. We're just used to it, and we're like, and our nervous system is upregulated,
Right.
literally,
Yeah.
and the cortisol's high, and we're irritable or jumpy, or we're not in our bodies. We're
Mm-hmm.
not we're not even aware of
Yeah.
what we're feeling. And so I can't tell you how many times I've worked with clients who are shocked to have feelings because we're tapping and we're
Mm-hmm.
feeling and they're having feelings. And of course we're releasing it. Like emotions are meant to flow through you like water. In my experience working with people, this is what I see. Not just be stored in the body for safety and
Yeah.
protection, which is what we do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just because you don't know you're feeling it doesn't mean it's not there, and it's stored in your body, and it's storing in your gut, and it's storing making you sick, and it's
Yeah.
making you gain weight, and it's protecting you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And people are always shocked. And so the big healing is, and it's people are different. Some people don't like their feelings and they're like, well, I'm just going to get this one issue worked on and then I'm kind of not going to think about it again.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
I don't want to have feelings. They suck.
oh yeah.
And
My
and like
audience
I
knows this has been my journey for the last like 2 years is working
well and
like
big
feeling your
painful feelings.
feelings. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And what's really interesting about it though, it's our culture, right? Our Western
Yeah.
culture wants us to be left brain and not embodied,
Yep.
and so learning to be embodied, I'm sorry if this sounds too, I don't know, not I had to do it too. And like, so I know the experience. I know what it's like to be like, way in our left brain, upregulated with your nervous system, can't relax, and have to go into your body and be very uncomfortable there,
Mm-hmm.
and be really anxious. And so the true healing comes when we work with that experience,
Mm-hmm.
want to be embodied, work with our fears and our anxieties, and start to feel okay about having feelings. This is when I get really excited, like when my clients are not afraid of their own,
Yeah.
they know they can let it go.
Yeah. That safety is it's priceless. From
It's
someone,
priceless,
yeah, it's priceless from
right?
someone who didn't even because you're not numbing just the bad feelings or not there's no bad feelings, but
Exactly,
like you're numbing
exactly,
even the fullness of joy. Like when I realized
exactly.
that, I was like, okay, I've been like half living. I've been half living in my joy. And that just once that kind of clicked and I created that safety to allow myself to feel whatever was coming up and not try to, I was a pusher downer or a avoider of it. And I think a lot of high performing women are. I mean, we just
Absolutely.
like getting into the next thing, like let's just go, go, go. I don't have time for it was
Right.
one of my thoughts. The second thought was if I feel it's going to take me out of the game. And so I had a real fear. I had a real fear. If I feel all
Exactly.
the feelings that I've been storing up for
Exactly.
years, it's going to take me out of my business.
Yeah, and I can tell you from many years of experience now, it makes you more successful. The more you slow down, the
Yeah.
more you're embodied, the more not only success, but the kind of success you want, the
Yeah.
kind that doesn't kill you. And in fact, I'm writing something about this now. It's called the Sovereignty Reset, and
Hmm.
it'll be on my website. It's not completed yet. And it's based, I mean, the one thing I want to get across is like, I'm basically a secret business coach because when we're fully relaxed and embodied, my clients make so much more money
Oh,
doing
yeah.
nothing. They're already, it's sabotage to be killing us like this.
Hmm.
We don't know how much we're worth. We don't value our accomplishments. So we don't charge, correct. I don't know. We don't even think about charging differently or what the value is. So that's one piece, just one piece. But
Yeah.
we have frequency, right? This is studied. You can look it up, like just go look this stuff up. I'm not going to get into it too deep, but we give off a frequency, and emotion has a frequency. And I have seen in
Mhm.
my own life and my clients repeatedly, the more we let go of all this stuff, the stress, the worry, the doubt, the fears, and the way we self-attack,
Mhm.
the ways we do that, the more we're letting this go. We don't even have to add anything, like teach ourselves anything new. We create amazing things.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
indescribable. And
Yeah.
I believe it's within us.
Hmm.
We don't have to add to the template. We were born with our own personal destinies, is how I see it. We
Hmm.
have free will, of course, but like you're already got this magic inside of you that already knows what to do, right? That's
Yeah.
perfect for you. No one could coach you properly.
Right.
Like, we would ruin you.
Right.
And like we would just damage you to give you limits. Like I
Mhm.
can't, the things my clients have created, one of them that I always quote just because it was there's so many magical things, but one of them wrote her memoirs and it went to a New York Times bestseller, and she hadn't even thought about doing anything like that.
Yeah.
And another was an artist, and she was already successful, and she had this coming from a place of peace and happiness and no anxiety. She had an idea, a creative idea.
Yeah.
And I said, thank God I said it because I'm proud of myself. All I did, I didn't want to coach her, but I was like, why don't you just pitch it? And she's like,
Mhm.
really? I can do that? And I was like, yes. And she sent out an email on a Friday, and it came back that weekend. And by the time we talked on Monday, she was like, you're not going to believe it.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Yeah.
Italy for 3 months,
Hmm.
fully paid, no hourly, nothing, just paid more than I ever make in even a year. And they're paying for my husband to go, and I'm
Yeah.
going to work on the next project. And
Yeah.
she was happy as a clam. And so, no effort, no force, only joy and in the flow, because we had cleared all her anxiety and all her childhood
Yeah.
crap around that. It was all from childhood.
Yeah.
And she was able to be her fully expressed artist self
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
give it something beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely
There's no
noticed.
words for that. Yeah, it's like
No, no, and I mean, I definitely have noticed my creativity levels, and because I think, like I said, going back to when I'm not allowing emotion or allowing myself to feel, I'm not just cutting off the fear, I'm cutting off true joy and fulfillment and desire. And so, because I wasn't in tune with my own desires, I was building a business that I was doing things that I actually didn't
right,
really enjoy doing,
exactly,
to the fullest
exactly,
extent. And so now it's like I have all these ideas that come up, and that part of my brain is still like goes to the how. Well, how are you going to do that? And can you do that?
right,
And all of those
right,
loops that it goes to. But if I just stay in that desired state, like, no, this is what I want to create. This is why I want to create it. This is why I want to build this business this way. It creates so much more creativity and ideas that I could not have hustled my way through or performed my way through. And so and it's all new territory for me. So I'm still learning all of this stuff. So I'm definitely not an expert in it yet. I'm only have my experience to share with people, but I will say I can definitely, back Sandy up with saying that my creativity level is at a all-time high because I am tapping into more desire than I am performance, and I think
exactly.
it's a shift, it's a really powerful shift that happens when you create that safety in your body to feel all of it. I say, if you're willing to feel anything, you'll be willing to do anything, and
Exactly. And
yeah,
when you're really passionate and love something, you can move mountain. We all
yeah,
do it.
yeah, yeah.
I've created several businesses that way, and that I was willing to work for.
Yeah,
I was willing to work hard for because I was so in love. I was just so
yeah,
passionate about it. And
yeah.
I feel like that's the energy you want to take. You don't want to have, I mean, we all have to do certain things we're not good at. Like I'm
True.
techie, I'm weird
Yeah.
with tech. And, I don't like having to be on the computer all the time. So we all have our stuff, but I used to love being on the computer and writing. But, you follow the things you feel really good doing, you're
Mm,
going to be more successful,
yeah, yeah,
And so that's the secret. And when you don't feel good, yeah, you can create a lot of success that way. A lot of
yeah.
my clients do. It's
Mm.
just they're not enjoying it.
Right. Yeah.
And there's a
Well, like
better
an
way to
uphill
do it.
battle. There is a better way to do it,
And
100%.
there's a better way. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think finding your way unique to you. So whether it's working with someone like Sandy and doing that EFT work, or, I mean, there's all different ways to kind of get to that place. But this might be a modality that someone hasn't tried yet. Maybe they've tried everything when it comes to cravings and addictions, or even just tapping into their own emotional safety. So, Sandy's presenting one today for you that maybe you haven't tried before. And I think it's important just to be curious. There is no right or wrong way, which is what my brain likes to tell me a lot, because we're all uniquely designed. So, Sandy, where can they like find out more about what you do and connect with you if this is like, oh, this resonated with me? I'm like wanting to try it, or I'm interested in just learning more about it.
Yeah, so my website's sandyzeldes.com, and we've created a page just for your listeners,
Okay, yep, we'll put it in the show notes.
mompreneurs.
Hmm.
Yep. And we'll have that link available, but in case
Yeah.
someone's driving, my name is probably tricky to spell, sandyzeldes.com/mompreneurs. And what's available there is a free audio. I did a very short audio just for people to experience what it feels like in their bodies, to use just a little tapping, experienced or not, to feel a little stress relief. And it's a guided tapping that's free. And then I have a course that I wrote. It's a best-selling course on a popular platform, DailyOM, if anybody's heard of it. And that link is available. It's Healing Subconscious Blocks to Weight Loss. That's a low-cost DIY course. And then I have an application if someone's ready to talk to me, and they fill that out. So I can learn more about them and talk to them about what's going on
I
and
love
work with.
it. I love it.
And
Well,
I'm working on my new, it's just an ebook, a small ebook that is talking about all this safety in the body and how to do that. And I'll be putting an audio in there as well. That'll be available soon, hopefully in the
okay.
next couple of weeks. Yeah.
Well, good. Well, they'll go to your website and they can get on your email list and stay in touch with everything you have going on. Tell me if you could leave the audience with just one final thought about anything we've talked about, or you could just leave all the mompreneurs of the world with one final thought. What would you want them to know?
I mean, it's something that sounds so, I know it sounds cliche, but we're good enough. We don't have to prove anything. You don't have to do more.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing more to do. Being more is the key.
Yeah.
And, it changes everyone in your life. It changes, obviously you. It makes you feel at peace. Being able to really be in your own body and life and appreciate the moments, because being a mom is more than enough.
Mm-hmm.
It's more than enough if someone's raising children. A lot of my clients feel guilty wanting to spend more time with their kids, but they're working so much and they balancing the two. And knowing you're enough, moms are enough, and there's nothing more we have to do. In fact, doing less is the true
Yeah.
is the true answer
Yeah.
for our generation, for the generations that are struggling with doing both.
Yeah. Be more and do less. I'm all about
Be
that.
more, do less, and learn, and just be in the process of learning how to do that, right?
That's right.
It's
Yeah.
okay to be learning how to
Yeah.
just relax
Yeah.
and be okay with relaxing. It's
Yeah.
hard for people.
It
It's
is.
a
It is.
struggle.
It
Yeah.
is, and there's no shame in that either,
There's
So
no shame in that.
as
Yeah.
you're learning, just like any other skill set, I say this to my clients all the time when they're learning new skill sets, whether it be, tangible or intangible. I'm like, if your son was learning when he was learning to walk and he fell down, did you like beat him while he was down and say, you're so stupid or so?
Exactly.
Like you would never talk to your child
Exactly.
that way. So when you're learning something new, pick yourself
Exactly.
back up and just try again. There's no shame or judgment. You don't have to get it perfect and perfectly right every time. So do it messy. And I just love the idea of just being. We were made human
Yeah.
beings, not human
Yeah.
doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there are tools that help you to learn how to do that. And EFT is really effective at habit change.
Yeah.
That's what it does
Yeah.
very quickly too, in
Yeah.
a matter of a few sessions. I mean,
Yeah.
over time, but
Right. Right.
it's very effective whether you understand it or not, and you don't have to believe in it. So whether they talk to me or someone else, it's
Yeah.
the most profound technique I've ever used. And
Yeah.
I'm certified in a lot of things. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's
So
a great reminder to ask for the help that you need. If you don't understand how to do
exactly.
something, like you don't have to go this road alone. You don't have to be the expert. Go to someone who already is the expert to kind of guide you along in that process. So thanks for coming on. This was great.
Thank you, Martine. Pleasure to talk to you. Glad we finally did
I know.
it.
Me too. Me too. All right, friends. Well, we'll catch you on our next episode, and I'm believing in you always. Well, that's a wrap, friends. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. I really hope it met you right where you are and gave you some encouragement for your day. Could you do me the biggest favor and leave me a rating and review? Seriously, it's the best way for you to support the show. And while you're there, be sure to follow the show so you never miss an episode. Thanks again. And until next time, I am believing in you always.